Hey guys, HDV here and welcome to a brand new video. We have some pretty cool things to go over today. Some more Legends ZA promotion has dropped. As well as that, we have a new Pokemon Champions rumor to go over that also talks about a brand new Mythical Pokemon that is going to be announced very, very soon. We have some Nintendo Switch 2 stuff to go over. There's a lot of things to break down today. So if you're excited for the video, drop a like down below, leave a comment, subscribe if you're brand new, and let's get into the video. So, starting things off, we have some more Legends ZA promotion. Unfortunately, no new information in this sort of flyer promotion that has been distributed in stores recently in Japan, but it is still, I guess, some form of promotion for the game. There's no like new images or anything like that. They just kind of go over the Switch 1 version, the Switch 2 version, different Legends ZA gameplay screenshots. They go over Mega Evolution as well. You can see like Magikarp Mega evolving into Mega Gyarados. The characters as well. You've got AZ, Vinny, players and characters, all sorts going on. We do have Pikachu and Eevee in like the bottom left corner of this screen here. I don't know if we've seen actual Eevee in a trailer. Obviously we know it's in the game because like Silver, I think we've seen all the evolutions either way, but I don't know if we've actually seen footage of Eevee. So yeah, don't know why they've got like a Pikachu and an Eevee segment. Maybe that's just because they're the mascots or whatever. And then of course the second sort of part of this leaflet is just the actual Lumiose City map for Pokemon Legends ZA. So like I say, very, very small drips of information regarding Pokemon Legends ZA. We're very close to the big Pokemon Presents anyway, so hopefully we'll get a ton of stuff about the new game in that. But either way, just wanted to quickly go over that because of course we cover every single bit of Pokemon Legends ZA news, big or small. But either way, that's the Legends ZA promotional stuff. Moving on, we have some pretty bad news for Nintendo Switch 2 hopefuls that haven't got the game yet, or the console, should I say. We have Game Rant here tweeting out saying, buying a Nintendo Switch 2 console may be difficult for a long time, according to multiple analysts watching the video game industry. So they say that Nintendo Switch 2 shortages could last until spring 2026. So if you haven't already got a Nintendo Switch 2, you may struggle in the near future to pick up one of the consoles. So availability of Nintendo Switch 2 consoles may be scarce until months into spring 2026, according to one major Japanese news publication, which bases its assessment off of two different financial analysts. So players around the globe have already been scrambling to get their hands on the Nintendo Switch 2 since its release 1 month ago. And production and demand estimates show that buying one may not get any easier until sometime next year. So the Nintendo Switch 2 was released on the 5th of June 2025, and its popularity on the gaming market could set new console sale records for Nintendo, if not the industry as a whole. So currently the PlayStation 2 remains the best-selling console of all time, with more than 160 million units sold, and the handheld Nintendo DS sits in second place, exceeding 154 million units. So according to Nikkei Asia, the scarcity of the Nintendo Switch 2 consoles in Japan is leading some retailers to offer a first-come, first-served format, while Nintendo's online store has been running multiple rounds of randomly selected lotteries to determine which of the millions of potential players who have entered will have the option to buy one. Nintendo President Shintaro Furukawa publicly apologized for Nintendo Switch 2 shortages in late June, which the Japanese publication states have been affected in large part by an unavailability of necessary semiconductors. Nintendo is trying to address its production issues, but estimates now show that Switch 2 consoles may not be readily available until spring 2026. So Nintendo Switch 2 shortages could last until spring 2026. The estimate is backed up by projected sales figures from two different industry analysts, Hideki Yasuda of Toyo Securities and Zai Yijin of UBS Securities. Both of these analysts predict that more than 6 million Nintendo Switch 2 units were sold worldwide in the month of June 2025, although the validity of these estimates won't be made clear until Nintendo releases the actual opening month sales numbers, which the company is expected to do on the 1st of August. Both analysts estimate that at least 18 million Nintendo Switch 2 consoles will have been sold by the end of the current fiscal year, which with Yasuda boosting that figure to 20 million. A slightly more conservative report on the Nintendo Switch 2 opening month sales from MST financial analyst David Gibson, which was announced earlier this week, predicts Nintendo sold 5.4 million units in June. So the shortage issues are compounded by statements from Furukawa that indicate Nintendo could still raise the price of the Nintendo Switch 2 in some markets. Nintendo had already temporarily delayed pre-order sales to the United States and Canadian markets following uncertainty cast by the US president and the tariffs. And Furukawa said in May that the company would have to continue to monitor worldwide market factors to determine the console's potential price adjustments, especially if tariffs change drastically. So yeah, looking like there is the shortages of the Nintendo Switch 2 are gonna probably stick around until the kind of spring of 2026. And as well as that, by the time that, you know, spring rolls around next year, you might be looking at a more expensive console as well, because if tariffs come into play after this 90-day period and nothing is kind of sorted out, then the console is going to be more expensive and it's going to be harder to get, which means that scalpers are going to be licking their lips at the potential of the kind of, well, how much they can really scalp these consoles for and stuff. So, yeah, bit of an annoying situation. If you obviously haven't picked up a Nintendo Switch 2 yet, I understand why a lot of people haven't picked it up, because there's not really a lot of games for it. There's not really any exclusives and stuff that might warrant people to get it. Like, yeah, you got like Legends EA coming out with a Switch 2 edition and stuff, but it's still available on the Switch 1. So until they bring out like a Pokemon game like Generation 10 that's solely on the Nintendo Switch 2, which is probably going to happen not until next November, there's not really a need to buy the console yet. And there might already be like a better version in terms of like a Pokemon exclusive version or like a Mario exclusive version or something like that that drops around these new games, which obviously people want to get instead. So completely understand why people don't want to get it yet. Just letting you guys know that, you know, the shortages might be around for a little bit and it might be more expensive as well. But either way, those are the Nintendo Switch 2 updates. Moving on, we have some more Q&A updates from the investor meeting that happened a couple of weeks ago. This was posted by Go Nintendo tweet saying Nintendo plans to expand their global reach through creating fun/exciting entertainment that's never been experienced before. So again, this is taken from the Q&A investor meeting. We didn't really get like a ton of information about it. It was very much just like broad questions and broad answers. Nothing really specifically about the Nintendo Switch 2, which was a bit unfortunate. It's just one of those things. You thought it'd be a bit bigger as well because it's like the 85th annual meeting and stuff, so that's quite a big number. But yeah, unfortunately, they didn't really drop anything crazy. But either way, Nintendo plans to expand their global reach through creating fun and exciting entertainment that's never been experienced before, the forefront of fun. So during its 85th annual general meeting of shareholders, Nintendo was asked about how they plan to expand their reach in the years going forward. Nintendo President Shintaro Furukawa shared Nintendo's key efforts in gaming, movies, and beyond that should help them gain access to new fans while retaining the ones they currently have. So the question was, our basic strategy is to increase the number of people who have access to Nintendo IP, but now that the Nintendo Switch 2 has been launched smoothly, we believe that we need a next basic strategy and a long-term vision. Please tell us your company's thoughts on this. And then Furukawa said, our management policy is to aim to create new entertainment while maintaining sound corporate management in the field of home entertainment. Specifically, we place the utmost importance on providing entertainment that is fun and exciting, something that has never been experienced before to customers around the world. So based on our basic strategy of expanding the number of people who have access to Nintendo IP, from the launch of the Nintendo Switch to the present, we have simultaneously developed mobile, theme parks, movies, official stores, and other activities. Now that the Nintendo Switch 2 has been released, we already have theme parks and several movie projects are underway. We believe that we may be able to do new things under the same basic strategy, but for the time being, we will focus on expanding the use of just released Nintendo Switch 2, as well as increasing the number of Nintendo fans and building good relationships with consumers over the long term. So yeah, they're going to be dropping some fun and exciting entertainment things in the future. Right now, they're specifically concentrating on the Nintendo Switch 2 because obviously it has just come out, which is obviously good news for gamers because it means we're going to get more games and better games and stuff like that. But yeah, it'll be interesting what other kind of fun and exciting things they have planned for the future of Nintendo. But anyway, that's just another update regarding the Q&A investor meeting for Nintendo. Finishing things off for today's video, we have a new rumor to go over that popped up on 4chan regarding Pokemon Champions and also a new mythical Pokemon that's also going to be dropping with this game. So this was posted on the 4th of July, so a few days ago now, nearly a week, and it says Pokemon Presents 22/07/25. So apparently this is all getting announced in the July 22nd Pokemon Presents, which again, not very far away at all. It says, all new information for Pokemon Champions includes the release date, single player mode which can be played against NPCs of Frontier Island. There is a hub or a lobby known as Frontier Island which you can talk to NPCs. The island is run by the Aether Foundation employees. Some Pokemon are gifted to you in the game without having to rely on Pokemon Home, which includes Venusaur, Blastoise, Charizard, or Pikachu. I mean, out of those choices, you're probably going to go for one of the Kanto starters over Pikachu because they're just a lot better competitively. Silvally is given once you complete 10 Frontier quests in a row against NPCs. Lucario is given to you after 25 Frontier quests. I mean, they have stated multiple times that there is going to be ways to obtain Pokemon in Pokemon Champions, like in the actual game. Like, you don't actually have to transfer from Pokemon Home. We don't know how many you're going to be able to obtain. We don't know how difficult it is going to be to obtain them, but there are going to be ways to catch them. So it wouldn't surprise me if there is some sort of story mode and maybe you get missions or something like that that allow you to then get gifted these Pokemon or something on the same lines. Again, this is I assume, free-to-play game anyway. Obviously, you need Nintendo Switch Online, or obviously you need to buy a mobile phone or whatever. But in terms of actually buying the game, I don't think it's going to have a price. So I don't know how they're going to get like microtransactions and stuff through this game. I assume they're going to have like probably characters, and then the characters are going to have customization options and stuff like that. Maybe there's items you can buy with microtransactions to just make a Pokemon fully competitive, or to allow it to change EVs and IVs. We really don't know, because they're obviously going to want to make money off this game in some way, shape, or form. And if it's a free to download game, then there's going to be microtransactions. That's just how the world works in 2025. So yeah, it'll be interesting how they kind of build on this. Again, we should find out a lot about this during this July Pokemon Presents. And then it says, once transferred to Champions, your Pokemon are unable to go back to their original games. You will earn Frontier Points. So Frontier Points, which are used to train up your Pokemon or give them items like Mega Evolution Stones or change their Terra type. Z-moves and Dynamax are available at a later date as the battle mechanics rotate. And then it goes on to say the first season is Mega Evolution and Terrestrialization, which isn't surprising because that's what we saw in the initial reveal trailer. I don't like the fact that you just can't send them back though, because then they're just stuck in Pokemon Champions forever. I mean, I get it if it is going to be, you know, the main competitive of Pokemon, which we're all expecting it to be, kind of like going into the future and stuff. But at the end of the day, it's still like, you know, you never know. Like, maybe you've had this Pokemon for ages and you transfer it into Champions because you want to battle with it, and then it's stuck there. I don't know. I feel like you should still be able to change it back, or I don't know. I get it though, because obviously if you change it into this game and then you change like all these different stats and stuff for free, then I get why they wouldn't want you to kind of send them back. But at the end of the day, they want more people to get into competitive. They want to make it as easy as possible for people to get into competitive. So it shouldn't have like these restrictions and stuff, in my opinion. Then there is an all-new mythical Pokemon added to the game called Chimecha. So very similar to Chimecho, but it is a Chimecha, which another artificially created Pokemon who can Mega Evolve. It uses an exclusive Z move and has its own terrestrialized form, as well as a brand new Gigantamax form. So this mythical Pokemon is just getting everything. Gigantamax form, Mega Evolution, specific exclusive Z move, own terrestrialization form. It's getting absolutely everything. It is a normal steel type Pokemon. Normal steel is an interesting type. It's not the greatest. It's ×4 weak to fighting, but obviously it is immune to poison, immune to ghost. So a couple of immunities there, which is quite nice. But yeah, a few weaknesses, I guess. I guess there's not too many. Like, normal only is weak to fighting, so it's not really making steel that much worse, whereas steel, you know, resists quite a few typings. But I don't know. I don't really believe this at the moment. I don't think they're going to bring in a mythical and give it every single gimmick, because it's just going to be so OP. It will serve as the mascot of the game. It also functions as a storage system for your Pokemon and items, as it is a robotic akin to Rotom and its forms. So it's a steel normal type robot, which is a mythical, which it gets all these gimmicks, and it also, is it just like a big old PC then? They haven't actually described what it looks like. They just said it's going to be the mascot of the game. So I assume when you load in, you're kind of like greeted by it and stuff like that. I don't think that's going to be the case, but it says there is a free play mode where you can change the rules against friends. So that includes playing without abilities, items, physical or special categories, or the fairy, steel, and dark types. Really weird just to exclude those. Many Pokemon can be omitted from this. Only select Pokemon can play in this feature. I don't know. I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they're going to have they're going to have like obviously friends options and stuff like that, and, you know, local battles or whatever. But I don't think they're going to be able to allow you to take like physical or special categories out of the situation. They're just going to remove like 3 types, just really weird. I don't know. I don't really believe this for a second. I'd really like them to include a new mythical Pokemon. It's about time. But I don't know. I don't believe this for a second. We don't have to wait too long to find out anyway, because this is apparently all happening on the 22nd of July. But anyway, that is going to be everything for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please do consider leaving a like down below. Let's try and hit 500 likes. It does really help out. Leave a comment with your thoughts on anything we covered in today's video. Your thoughts on the Pokemon Champions and new Mythical Pokemon rumor. Your thoughts on the Nintendo fun and exciting entertainment stuff that they've got planned. The Nintendo Switch 2 shortages. And then, yeah, obviously we've got the promotion for Legends EA as well. But either way, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you're brand new. Ring the notification bell for daily Pokemon content. Have a great rest of your day. And until next time, peace.